So let's talk about dash cameras for a bit. I went with the Akaso DL12. It's a mirror dash cam. It mounts over top of your existing mirror. Now this video is going to be a little disjointed because I didn't do like a full unboxing, but I will show you some problems I ran into with mounting it to my mirror. In this Super Duty, it's got a really big rear view mirror. And there was some things that annoyed me. So I'll put those pieces in here so you can see what I was dealing with and how I dealt with it. And then we'll come back and talk about this camera. Okay, so problem with the Ford factory mirror and the camera. So when you put it on here, you have to leave room on the side for the camera to stick out, which means that it's not going to cover up the Ford mirror all the way. That's going to drive me crazy. Some people might not care about that, but it's going to drive me crazy. Now I considered just taking my saw and cutting this sucker down and making it fit, because this is going to function like a rear view mirror anyway. But then I was going to the parts store for my kid, and I was in my Jeep, and I noticed that the Jeep mirror is significantly shorter than the Ford mirror. So I pulled the Jeep mirror off and the Ford one off. Now they connect differently. This one's got like a spring clip for the Ford one. This one's got a screw that holds it in. But the part that's on the windshield is the same. It fits on. Now when you take the camera and line it up, hard to do this with one hand. But when you line it up, it completely covers up the mirror, which makes me happy. Okay, so another side note that I didn't know, I'm pretty sure that if you read the instructions, it will tell you this, that this camera actually slides out and makes it wider. So for some applications, it not being wide enough won't be a issue, because it can actually slide out and be wider. But the Ford one is still, with it extended as far as it will go, the Ford one is still that much, sticks out that much on that side, which again will just drive me crazy. So I'm still going to go with the Jeep mirror. Okay, so we're back looking at the camera. I'm going to go ahead and turn the key on here. I have the dash cam plumbed with the wires going up into my overhead console, and then they're actually powered up there. That's where the power goes to. You can go back and check out the video, the overhead console video, where I talk about how I did all of that and how I got keyed power up there. But the keyed power makes it nice. As soon as I turn on the key, the camera turns on and it defaults to the rear view mode. You can wire it into your reverse light, so when you put it in reverse, it automatically goes to the rear view. But I find that I don't ever really watch the front view, so I just leave it on rear view anyway. But that's the way it defaults, so that's kind of nice. It is voice command, so you can do like front video on, okay, and it will switch to the front video, or you can go rear video on, okay, and it'll switch back to the rear video. Now on the right hand side of the screen, you touch it and you go up and down, and it's the brightness. You can change the brightness of the screen. On the left hand side of the screen, you touch it and you can actually move the camera down, so I can look at my fifth wheel hitch in there. The same thing goes for the front video on. Okay. You can move the front video up and down also. It videos that whole when it records everything from top to bottom, but you just can't display everything top to bottom on this 12-inch display. It's 12 inches across there, which is really nice. This nice wide rear view mirror. The wires for the rear camera actually go up through my headliner. They run all through the trim and everything, and it goes back there, and it's mounted right there. If I could get it to focus on it. It is mounted in the back, and I've got my sunshade up there right now. I had to make a little bracket to stick on my window because I didn't have any other way to stick it there, so I made a little bracket for it. Okay, so you can touch the screen, and then you can go into settings, and it's got a whole bunch of different settings in here. There's a lot of reviews on this, but you can go to resolution, and it's 2K, or you can switch it to 1080p. The rear camera is always 1080p. The front camera switches between 2K and 1080p. So I always run it in 2K. The loop recording, you can switch it from 1 minute, 3 minutes, and 5 minutes. I leave mine on 5 minutes. What it does is it records a constant 5-minute loop and then overwrites that file. Now I've got a 64 gig card in it, but I'll never fill that up really. You can lock the video if you want to, just with your voice. You just tell it to lock it, and it will lock that video in and save it and make it so that it won't get deleted. You can also go and do a time-lapse record, and it will record time-lapse instead of live action, and I just leave it on live action. You can turn the audio on and off. So if you want to record audio in the vehicle, you can turn the audio on. If you don't want to record the video or the audio, then you can turn the audio off. Leaving it on makes it nice for like video vlogging. If you're driving down the road, you can tell it to lock that video that it was recording, and then it will have recorded your audio for you too. The G sensor is if you get into an accident, it automatically locks up and saves the video. And you can set it to low, medium, or high. I've just got it set to low right now. Parking guard is, you set that for if you get hit in a parking lot, it will automatically record. License is you can enter your license plate into it, so you can identify the video. If you've gotten multiple units in operation, you can identify the vehicle that this video came out of. It's got a screensaver. The video encoding is just what kind of video do you want and what kind of frequency you want. If it depends on if you're in Europe or the United States, I guess. You can turn the key tone on and off, the volume of the beeps and the speaking. You can stream media to your phone. You can change the language, date and time, format cards. You can set it back to default. It does have speech recognition here. So those are the commands that you can tell it, and it will do those things. So those are the voice commands for it. The version is just the software version information. GPS test is it just tests the GPS for you, what time zone you're in. Speed calibration, it was about I guess it was about 6 miles an hour off, so I had to adjust the calibration to make the speed for this be the same as the speed that was on my vehicle. And then you can set your units to kilometers or miles per hour, and I've got mine set to miles per hour right now. This particular one has a built-in GPS. So if we get out of here, you can see over on this side that it's got the little yellow thing there, and it says that that the GPS is in operation. Over on this side, you can see that it's got a miles per hour and what day it is and what the date is and all that. I've got the GPS receiver wired up through here, and it's just a little box that sits over there. It looks like a Sirius XM box, and I stuck it up over there. So it does track, and when it records, it will record your location, your speed, and things like that. So if there was an accident, you were parked or you were stationary and you got hit, you got proof that you weren't moving when you got hit. But I really like it. It's got a lot of great features on it. It fits in here really nice. It's a nice wide screen. 2K is perfect video for me. I don't need any higher resolution than that. You can manually record or take a snapshot. You can tell it to do that also. You can turn your audio on and off here, and you can lock your videos here also. And it will lock that, for me, a 5-minute loop recording. But all in all, really happy with it. I've got it, like I said, wired in up here to a keyed power. So when I shut the car off or the truck off, it automatically powers down and it goes into park mode. So now if the truck gets hit, then it automatically starts recording. Because it does have a rechargeable battery in it. It doesn't need power to be in park mode. It's kind of in sleep mode right now. And if I get hit by something, then it will turn on and it will start recording. I did have to kind of mess with the settings a little bit on that because it was recording when I closed the doors. So it was because it was on high and I put it on medium. Now that when I close the doors, it doesn't start recording. But all in all, great camera. It is the DL12 and it's got great reviews on Amazon. I'll leave the link down below to this camera. Works really good. I'm really happy with it. It fits a lot of different applications. And like you saw in the other part of the video, I did have a few issues with the size of my mirror, but that's just because of this Ford thing. You could, if you have the same kind of trouble, maybe it won't bother you, but if you have the same kind of trouble, you can also go to the parts store and just buy a cheap $7 mirror, a replacement mirror, and put it up there, a little short one, and then it'd be fine. It's held on by these rubber straps that go around your mirror. It holds it pretty snugly there. It comes with a couple of different styles, so you can make it tighter if it's loose on your particular mirror. You can make it tighter and fit and not wobble around. This little box that you see sticking out is actually the camera lens. It's adjustable to slide out for wider mirrors or slide back in depending on how your mirror's set up, because it does have to go around the mirror. But all in all, love it. So if you got something good out of this video, click the like button, click the subscribe button, leave a comment down below and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. And as always, have safe travels and I hope to see you on the road.